Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to be here with you today. Today, we're going to explore 10 unexpected ways pain changes you. This presentation will look at how pain, whether physical or emotional, can influence us in surprising and profound ways. We'll cover how pain can impact our psyche, behavior, biology, and worldview, supported by research and theory. So, let's dive in and discover how pain shapes us in ways we might not have realized before. Pain doesn't just feel like it's in one spot. It actually changes the way your brain and body perceive things. When pain becomes chronic, it can reshape neural circuits and even alter sensory maps, which are the brain's way of organizing how we sense our body. Specific regions such as the insula, anterior cingulate cortex, thalamus, and the somatosensory cortices show changes in activity and how they connect with each other. This means that the way your brain processes pain and body sensations is fundamentally different in chronic pain conditions. For example, people with long-term pain may experience their body differently. They might have an altered sense of where body parts are or how they feel. Sometimes, this can even lead to what's called neglect-like symptoms, where certain parts of the body feel less present or less real to them. So, in essence, persistent pain doesn't just affect how we feel. It actually rewires how we perceive ourselves physically. This highlights how deeply pain can reshape our brain and body perception, tying into the larger theme of how pain is a complex, brain-based experience. When you're experiencing pain, it actually impacts your cognition in several ways. Specifically, your attention, memory, and decision-making skills can all be affected. When you're in pain, your brain naturally diverts resources to process that pain, which means there's less capacity left over for other tasks. Research shows that chronic pain can lead to noticeable deficits in attention, working memory, and even the ability to make decisions. So you might find yourself more easily distracted, struggling to concentrate, or having a harder time making choices, especially under pressure. Now, pain doesn't just affect your mind. It also carries a significant emotional burden. It can bring about feelings of sadness, frustration, anger, or even guilt. Over time, these emotional responses can shift your mood baseline, making you more prone to depression or anxiety. It can also impact your self-esteem and how you see yourself. Many people feel misunderstood by friends or family, which can add to feelings of isolation. Sometimes there's a shift in identity, shifting from seeing oneself as healthy and active to feeling more fragile or limited. Recognizing these emotional and cognitive impacts is crucial because they play a big role in the overall experience of living with pain and in managing it effectively. When you're living with chronic or recurring pain, it really changes how you see and think about time and the future. The future can start to feel uncertain, almost unpredictable. Plans that you once had might get postponed or pushed back, and your goals may need to be redefined based on what's realistic now. You might find yourself shifting from big, long-term ambitions to smaller, more immediate milestones that feel achievable in the short term. Pain can force you to live within a more constrained time frame, which can significantly alter your perceptions of what's possible. While there aren't that many formal studies on this specific phenomenon, we do see it clearly documented in qualitative research on people with chronic illness. And it's an important aspect to recognize, because understanding this shift helps us better support those navigating these challenges. Pain, as challenging as it is, actually has a way of refining our empathy and deepening our understanding of suffering. When we go through painful experiences ourselves, it often opens our eyes to what others might be experiencing. We become more compassionate, more patient, and more attuned to the emotional states of those around us. It's like our own suffering acts as a lens, making us less judgmental of others in hardship. There's even research on post-traumatic growth that supports this idea, showing that enduring pain can lead to social and interpersonal growth. So, in a way, pain can be a catalyst for developing a richer, more empathetic connection with others, which ties back to our overall theme of growth through adversity. Pain often forces us to set new boundaries and to rethink our priorities. When pain drains our energy, it becomes clear that we can't keep doing everything the way we used to. This might mean saying no more often, letting go of low-priority tasks, or even reevaluating some of our relationships. The key thing is that pain teaches us what truly matters, whether it's rest, meaningful connections, or focusing on just a few deep projects rather than spreading ourselves too thin. This process of reprioritization can feel unexpected at first, but in the long run, it can be deeply beneficial. It helps us realign our lives around what's most important for our well-being and fulfillment. Pain really has a profound impact on how we perceive our control and self-efficacy. When you're experiencing pain, especially chronic pain, it can often make you feel like you have less control over your life and the situations you face. This can lead to a diminished belief in your ability to take actions that achieve your goals. Research shows that even after the tissue damage has healed, this sense of low self-efficacy can persist. That's because pain can change how we see our bodies, influence our perceptions, and shake our confidence. But here's the interesting paradox. Sometimes, when people start to reclaim small areas of control, by learning coping strategies or therapeutic skills, they actually feel more empowered than before they experienced pain. So, even though pain can diminish our sense of control, taking small steps to regain that control can lead to a surprising boost in self-confidence and a feeling of empowerment. This ties into the overall theme of resilience and recovery, showing that even in the face of ongoing pain, there are ways to rebuild a sense of mastery over one's life. Pain isn't just about that physical sensation we feel. It's actually deeply connected to our emotions. When we experience pain, it can really change how we regulate our feelings. For some people, this might mean becoming more alert or vigilant, and sometimes it leads to an increase in negative emotions like anxiety, frustration, or grief. You might find yourself cycling through these feelings more often. But it's not all negative. Some individuals develop new emotional skills in response to pain. They might build a greater capacity to tolerate discomfort, learn to sit with difficult feelings instead of avoiding them, and become more emotionally resilient overall. What's interesting is that emotion regulation, in this context, becomes more of a conscious process. We have to actively work to manage our emotions, which can be challenging but also empowering. This highlights how pain, while difficult, can also foster growth in emotional regulation, tying into the larger theme of resilience and adaptation in our overall journey. When we experience pain, it often transforms how we see our values, purpose, and meaning in life. It forces us to confront our limitations, and in doing so, many people start reflecting on what truly matters. You might notice a shift towards asking deeper questions like, "What matters most to me?" Or, "How do I want to spend my time?" These questions tend to become more urgent during tough times. Some folks find themselves reorienting their lives around contributing to others, pursuing creative passions, building a legacy, or exploring spirituality. This process is actually studied in psychological literature under the term post-traumatic growth. It's about finding new meaning, discovering new possibilities, and developing an appreciation for life itself. Moving on, pain also redefines how we see patience, endurance, and what it means to be strong. Going through hardship often helps us build endurance, not just physically, but also internally. We learn what it really means to persist despite setbacks, to keep going even when hope feels fragile. Over time, this resilience can become part of who we are, our identity as someone who has faced difficulty and still keeps moving forward. And this, in turn, can shift our understanding of strength. It's no longer about being invincible or never failing. Instead, strength becomes about resilience, perseverance, and even vulnerability, recognizing that true strength includes being open about our struggles and still pushing ahead. Understanding these unexpected changes isn't just academic, it has practical importance. Recognizing that pain can transform us beyond just physically helps us reduce self-blame. Many of these changes are normal and part of the healing process. Therapy and support play a crucial role. Psychological approaches like cognitive behavioral therapy and mindfulness can help us manage emotions, improve self-efficacy, and navigate identity shifts. Reaching out and seeking support can make a big difference. Setting realistic goals is also key. Adjusting our expectations and pursuing goals that match our current abilities helps us stay motivated without feeling overwhelmed. Having social connections, people who understand or validate what we're going through, can really lessen feelings of isolation and loneliness. Engaging in meaning-making activities, like reflection, creative pursuits, or spiritual practices, allows us to integrate painful experiences into our life story in a way that promotes growth and resilience. In the end, pain is more than just suffering. It's a force of transformation. It influences almost every aspect of our lives: our brains, emotions, identities, values, goals, and relationships. While many of these changes can be uncomfortable or unwanted, they also bring opportunities for growth, deeper empathy, clearer priorities, and a stronger, more resilient self. If you're interested, I can even map these 10 ways back to the YouTube video you mentioned, showing which points the speaker covers and how research supports or challenges those ideas. Would you like me to do that?